People are understanding something, are bringing peace in their lives. And you can be a part of the magic regardless of where you are. This evening, we have an opportunity to listen about a simple reality. Because you exist. It is so easy to start conjuring up all the ideas and the concepts that exist in this world. It is almost impossible not to be affected by all the hearsays that go around, and all of a sudden, a simple reality gets ignored. What is this reality? That you are alive. That within you in fact is the divine. That within you are the answers that you seek. So a lot of people say, if that is the case, then how come I don't see it? If within me is the divine, then how come I don't see it? I have explanation for that. If you were to go way out into the outer space and lift off from Earth, first you will just start to see the little bit bigger picture. I'm sure that some of you who have traveled on airplanes have seen that. There you are sitting in the airplane is on the ground. You look out the window and you just see part of the terminal or part of the airport. Then the plane takes off and you can see more. And the higher it goes, you can see more, and you can see more, and you can see more. Right? No. No. That's not true. Not entirely true. The further out you go, even though, yes, you can see more, the resolution drops. So all of a sudden, you don't see human beings anymore. It's amazing. It really is. You don't see people because the profile that you would be seeing is just very small. When you look at a person face on, you see the whole body. But if you look at it from the top, all you would see is a little head and two little shoulders. And if you were to go further out, maybe you will see a whole city. Now cars begin to disappear. And the further out you go, the resolution keeps dropping. And if you were to go clear into the outer space and a few light years away, you actually may not even see the oceans. All you might see is this blue little sphere. And if you go further out and further out and further out and further out, you won't even see the blue sphere. Have you looked at the sky? There's a whole universe out there, but you don't see it. So what's the trick? What's the trick? And the trick to seeing that which is really there is beautiful. And what is it? Come a little closer. Come a little closer to yourself. Because if you don't see what you have been given, it is because you are so far away. You don't see it. People have arguments. People have philosophies. People have ideas. People read this. People talk about this. People debate this. And what is the conclusion? What is the conclusion? All this stuff that goes on in this world has been going on in this world for thousands of years. We get excited, we read about a war here. Oh, war. Wars have been going on for a really long time. Why? Because people saw their cause greater than the value of human life. Cause was more important. They were closer to the cause, far away from humanity. When you get far away from humanity, you no longer see the resolution of humanity, you lose it. So, what is the answer? Come a little closer. Peace is inside of you. And people say, I don't see it. I don't feel it. You know why? Because you're so far away from your own self. The answer, come a little closer. Come a little closer. And keep coming closer and closer and closer and closer till you see it, because it is there. It is. Every day that you are given, every day that you have in your life is precious. If you don't see it, there is an answer to that. There is a solution. Come a little closer. You seek blessings, especially in time of trouble. When everything is great, when everything is wonderful, when everything is going according to your plan. You have a plan. You have a plan. Have you ever seen a leaf float away on a river? That's like saying, wow, that leaf is smart. He's directing the course of the river so that he can go where he wants to go. So we come up with plans. We have a plan for tomorrow. To do. Have you ever Googled to do apps? There is literally, it just goes on. I mean, there's the Apple side of it, there's the PC side of it, there's the Android side of it, there's the iOS side of it. And it just goes on and on and on. To do, to do, to do, to do, to do, to do, to do. To do. You're caught. You do. You do. And have you ever in your life ever stopped for a second and wished you were doing something else? Absolutely. It's not the leaf that is deciding where it's going. It is the river that dictates its fate. You are here. Here. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you know? What do you know? I'm not asking you what you believe. Because I'm sure that leaf would like to believe that it's got it together. But what do you know? What do you understand? There's a beautiful couplet from Kabir that there is a drop in the ocean. Everyone knows. But that there is an ocean in the drop, only a few know. So we hear it and we go, wow, how beautiful. Kabir must have been a very divine soul. Past tense. What Kabir said, was this only true for the people back then? Or is it true now? Do you know that the drop that he's talking about is none other than you? And that there is an ocean in this drop? And do you see it? Do you feel it? And if the answer is no, then the solution is come a little closer. Socrates said, know thyself. Now, you have heard this, right? Socrates said, know thyself. What, just for my general information, what does that sound like to you? A question or an answer? I'm sure this is debated. Of course, it's debated in school, given as a project. What do you think? But I'm sure that not a single student ever has come up with this one. What does it sound like? Does it sound like a question or an answer? Know thyself. And to be such a great philosopher and not actually introduce the answer by a question. Just to blurt out the answer, just like that. Know thyself. I mean, shouldn't you preface it with, I am about to give you an answer for a question, and here's the question. But just to blurt out the answer. Know thyself. And somehow you would get it. Because you're supposed to. You are supposed to. And if you don't, come a little closer. Wonderful things have been written. We read them. And it doesn't inspire answers, but it triggers questions. What does that mean? 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 Have you... I was just in Europe a few days ago, and I was going through the channels, on the Sky TV. I go on, the thumb gets sore. There's like so many of them. And there's channels where people are trying to explain what this means. And they've been doing that for thousands of years, trying to explain what this means, 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 and it's going to go on for quite a few thousands of years, believe me. Because there is only one solution to the questions, and that is knowing. And if you don't know, there is a solution to that. And the solution isn't to run off on top of a mountain, and the solution isn't to do more of what people have been doing for thousands of years. The solution, in fact, is come a little closer. There's two kinds of teachings in this world. Always have been, and I think always will be. One is, I say and you believe. One is, I say and you believe. And don't question it. I'll keep saying, you keep believing, and let's leave it at that. And the other one is I say, and you know. I say, and you know. Which one do you want? Now, there's nothing wrong with believing. There's nothing wrong with believing, but that doesn't mean you will know. But if you know, you can believe as much as you want. One encompasses one, but not the other, while other encompasses both. Which one do you want to be? Let me put another twist on this. If you live for approximately 70 years, that's the average, do you know how many days you have? 25,550. Not 250,000. Only 25,000. That's it. Now, from that, you can, of course, subtract what you have already lived, because that's not coming back. So, whatever you got left, you need to understand you didn't have that much to begin with. In fact, they were going to show you a video today, and that's exactly what it was all about, was 25,050. When people were asked how many days you're going to be alive, they said 250,000. Millions and millions, people said. But math says otherwise. Believing, knowing. If that's all you got, how do you want to spend it? You have choice. Ignorance or knowledge. Which one? Heaven now? Heaven now or heaven later? If somebody came to you and said, "Give me all your money and I'll return it to you when you come back in your next lifetime," with interest. What a deal, right? What a deal. I mean, you might even say, "Well, would you give me 20% interest?" And of course, the guy can be, "Yeah, of course, 25 for you, my friend, 25% interest." And the thought or the sound of 25% interest on all your money, I'm sure that's enough to wake anybody up. Whoa, yeah, man, that's a good deal. Would you go for it? That's how much you truly believe, and I'm not even talking about knowing, I'm just talking about believing. That's how much you believe in the after. That's your reality. So far we can talk about it, so far we can think about it, so far we can discuss it, so far we can imagine it, fine. Reality, let's not touch it. $25,550. They're going by every 24 hours, one is subtracted. Not that many to begin with, not that many left, and now you have to make a crucial decision. What is it going to be? So, I suggest to you, come a little closer to yourself. And experience the joy of being alive. Now, yes, we experience the joy of having children. We experience the joy of being promoted in a job. We experience the joy of a new car. We experience the joy of a new house. We experience the joy of a new dish. We experience the joy of this and that and meeting this person and not knowing this person and getting away from the other person. And we know all these joys. But we don't know the joy of being alive. How fragile are you? A problem comes and it'll paralyze you. And if the problem is extremely severe, emotionally severe, you won't be able to smile, you won't be able to talk. You can be the most articulate man on the face of this earth. But when the problem strikes, you won't even be able to say hi properly. That's how fragile you are. People are like, oh, I have this problem and I have that problem. And finally, at one event, I said, do you know how big your problem is? Maximum. This is the size of your problem. It's right here. Not here. Here. Biggest problem cannot exceed this size. We're fragile. Why? Because we don't understand our strength. And if you want to understand your strength, there is a solution to that. And it is, come a little closer. Every day. every day. What is this that you live in? This, what is this? It's dirt. Every day, it comes off. That which you adore so much comes off. Oh, the pains and the steps you take so that the dirt won't touch the dirt is absolutely incredible. So the dirt won't touch the dirt. But this is dirt. And you're fascinated with this when you should be fascinated with that resides in this dirt. And what is that? Being described in millions of ways. Was, is, and will be. Was, is, and will be is here. What a show! The shows of all shows has come to town for about 25,550 days. And after that, there won't be a trace of this magic left. Not a trace. Not a trace. Not a trace. But so far, you are alive. The shows of all the shows, the mother of all the shows is taking place. You want to see? Don't worry. If you want to see the show of all the shows, just come a little closer, and you will. You will. I'm talking about the experience of being alive. And of course, you've come here to hear about peace, right? So why am I not talking about peace? Why am I not talking about peace? What kind of an ambassador am I? Not talking about peace, I'm talking about shows and numbers and just telling everybody, come a little closer, come a little closer, come a little closer. Not to me, come a little closer to yourself. Come a little closer. Because that's what peace is. That's where peace is, within you. You think peace is absence of war? You're wrong. That's just a symptom find the disease. Find the disease. And the disease is ignorance. When I talk about peace, who do I meet? Who do I meet? Non-believers. Oh, the intelligent ones who say, oh, it never happened. Once upon a time, there was a hungry fox. And it came across some grapes on a vine. And they looked delicious. So the fox jumped to grab the grapes, but the grapes were a little too high. The fox tried again. The grapes were still too high. Tried again, and the grapes were still too high. So you know what the fox said? Those grapes are sour. And that's how that phrase started. Sour grapes. Don't know how to access that simplicity. People said, nah, you can't have peace. Listen, you just saw that video. These are people in prison. Their liberty has been taken away. They're used to violence. And they feel peace. How in the world is that possible? I mean, shouldn't I go speak at some holy place? Where I would have what I would consider soft audience halfway there. They would never listen to me. Never. Never. These guys, you think they're forced to listen? No. They listen because they want to hear. And you think it's only in one place? From South Africa, Mexico, Argentina. I was just there in a women's prison in Argentina. Feeling that, understanding that, embracing the knowing in one's life, that is the way to live. That is the way to live, and it takes courage to have peace, not cowardliness. It is mark of a coward to start wars. And the vested interest in wars. Every time war happens, they don't hear bullets firing. They hear ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. You know how many trillions of dollars trillions of dollars is spent on the weapons. Listen, I was calculating the other day. We're only not quite 7 billion, almost there, 7 billion on the face of this earth. And they spent trillions of dollars. So I figured, well, let me just do this calculation. So I did, and pretty much everybody would end up with little over $1,000. And then there are people who don't need it, who have more than enough. So if they gave up their $1,000, that figure would start to actually climb. For some people who are in the poorest part of this world, that would be over a year's salary. The amount of head start that it would give them cannot be imagined. But would we ever do that? First question, could we do that? Could we do that? And the answer is yes. Would we do that? The answer is no. So the human being has forgotten humanity. So a monkey is supposed to remember it? What do you think? An alligator is supposed to remember it? Hey, listen, guys, you can just imagine a big one somewhere saying, hey, you've forgotten your humanity and, you better get back to it. No. Embracing existence is human. Celebrating today is human. You see, the way I see a human being and the way human beings see a human being is really different. Because the way other people see human beings, it is error, is what human beings make. Isn't that what people say? I say, no. To embrace today is human, because I have embraced today, and it feels so right. To embrace this breath is human, and it feels so right. To embrace life is human, and it feels so right. To swim in that ocean that resides in this human drop is human, because it feels so right. To embrace peace is so right. To know thyself is so right. To be content is then the gift. And contentment becomes a gift for all that is so right in your life. Joy becomes a gift, for you have embraced all that is so right in your existence. The doubts go away. Clarity settles in. When a house is neglected, you know this. When a house is neglected, it is not cleaned, it is not taken care of, it will smell bad. You don't have to bring the bad smell in. When all that is not right, the bad smell automatically accompanies. When it is clean, it is fresh. It is fresh. It is real. I was in England, and it was a rare day, very rare because the sun was shining. I thought they were going to declare emergency or something because there was a yellow thing in the sky. But I went by some flowers, and I heard a buzz. And I looked, and there were all these bumblebees. Going from flower to flower to flower to flower to flower to flower. Of course, I went and grabbed my camera, and I got some nice pictures. And just this bumblebee coming in. If you were that bumblebee, what would you be doing? Sitting on some rock somewhere, having a cup of chai or coffee, thinking. Why am I here? Why has my life turned out the way it has? What karma did I do in my last lifetime? Thinking. Why is everybody mad at me when I yell at them? I'm sure wives think, what would have my life been like if I would have married somebody else? There's no focus, right? This goes ring, 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 all day long, going. How? Kabir says, like there's that lily in the pond, and on that all these insects are going around and round and round and round and round and round. And that includes everybody. Everybody. Oh, yes, all the holy ones are absolutely included in it. Yati, sati, sannyasi. Everybody. Everybody. And what is it? The mind is roaming, going around and around and around, and that's what we would be doing. We'd be sitting on some rock, wondering. Some people daydream. Why is this way? Why is this way? When will my opportunity knock? Have you tried knocking? No, you're just waiting for the opportunity to knock. But I saw those bumblebees, and I can tell you they were focused. No secondary agenda. Land, grab the nectar. When the nectar is finished, take off. Not one single one collided with each other. Here we have control towers and ATC and radar and TCAS, and we still can't keep them from crap. But these guys, they don't have any of that, but they just and I could have respect for them because they were so focused. What is your focus? What are you focused on? All that isn't? Because you should be focused on all that is. Not tomorrow, but today. Not yesterday, but today. So you can celebrate being alive. I'm not here to teach you any philosophy, Western or Indian or Eastern. No. Oh my God. I see such a disease. Somebody actually asked me this question. I was talking about peace. It's a very special event. I was talking about peace, and then the person said, so have you brought your message, to the warrior classes in India? And I said, but if you take away the label, all they are is human beings, just like you and I. Another excuse for why it cannot be done. Another excuse of why you cannot have peace in your life. Another excuse for why you should give up knowing and embrace believing. Have you ever been asked this question? How are you? Have you? I mean, I know you do it. How are you? 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 And have you replied? How could you? So far I'm concerned, If somebody asks you, how are you? The first thing you should know is who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, how are you going to reply, how are you? If you go to a cat and you say, cat, how are you? And the cat goes, pretty good, in English. I'd like to actually see that because I think that would be funny. You'd probably jump. You see, the cat knows it's a cat. And you know it's a cat. And when you ask the cat, how are you? You expect a cattish answer. Don't look that up in the dictionary, you won't find it. And the cattish answer is, how dare you talk to me, you slave? That's how it is. So somebody asks you, how are you? First you got to figure out, who are you? Are you the blessed one who experiences their blessing? There's somebody who is just wondering and wondering and wondering. Are you a wanderer? Somebody who just wonders, lost in some daydream, and then 25,550 days go by, and the knock comes, but it's not opportunity. Oh, you know? I mean, it wouldn't be so difficult to have a date stamped on your foot. Everything else does, expires on. Oh, there may not be a date stamped on your foot, but the clues keep coming. Don't they? Don't they? Don't they? Can't hear so well, can't see so well, gray hair. First they start to disappear, and then what haven't disappeared turn gray so that you can hardly see them. Somebody says something and you go, huh? Newspaper reading. It becomes a servo action. Before you could read across the classroom the answers for the test. If you had to take a test now, you'd never pass. The clues keep coming. Stand up, it's better that way. Sit down, it's better that way. There's transition between the two. It's not happening. Memory? What memory? What memory? I mean, you remember the name of your first grade teacher, but not of your wife that you just married yesterday. What memory? Gone. The clues keep coming. The clues keep coming. But don't you find it interesting that one trait that you have, one ability that you have, does not dull. Senses dull, physical stamina dulls, memory dulls, stomach dulls, everything else dulls. But one thing doesn't dull, is your ability to enjoy. Clue? Any clues? Any clues? And there is a clue. You are meant to enjoy that divine that resides in you. You are meant to enjoy that show that has come into town for 25,550 days. So, I recommend you get enjoying that show. And if you don't see the show, that's right, then come a little closer. That's what I have to say. Come a little closer to this heart, come a little closer to this existence, come a little closer to now. You are so gone in tomorrow. That's so far away. Come home to now, to this moment, to this life. How far, if you are thinking of another lifetime, how far have you gone from this one? Come a little closer. And I guarantee you'll find the joy of joys. If those prisoners could find it, it should be easy for you. Not really, but theoretically, if you're a believer, you should believe it should be easy for you. But it's not. Yes, the four walls isn't what makes freedom. Do you feel free? Do you feel free? Not somebody comes, oh, we're free, we're all free, freedom, freedom. But nobody feels free. And here is a person. You see, when you come closer, and what does he say in this video? He says, what if everybody in the prison had peace? Oh my God. Hello. Is that a new concept? Wow. When you come closer, those are the things you see. The possibility of peace, clarity, beauty, joy in your life. That's what I do. That's what I do. Go from place to place and bring this beautiful message of obviousness. We shouldn't be doing this. Really, I shouldn't be sitting here talking. You shouldn't be sitting there listening. This should be redundant. But it's not, because of the unconsciousness. Find the peace in your life so you can listen to the self. The scripture of all the scripture is written directly on the pages of your heart. And they do not require for somebody to get up on the stage and explain to you what it means. That's what love is. That's what love is. True love. You don't go around saying, gee, I'm feeling a little funny today. Love is understood. It's your life. It's your life. Live it how you want it. But here is the possibility. Maybe I have come here as that opportunity knocking on your door.